خالفتم أقوال الشيوخ فأنتم.
Hello.
There.
You agree or disagree?
No, I disagree that Islam is better.
Why is that?
Well, I think the fruits of Christianity are better.
What about the vegetables? Are they better or worse?
Yeah, that's real funny. I think, like, if we look at prominent apologists like you or God Logic, like, I think God Logic demonstrates like way better fruits than you.
Nice, man. And I demonstrate better vegetables. So can you answer the question now?
You know what fruits are?
Yeah, fruits, vegetables, everything. We know what they are.
Okay. So
Can you answer the question?
I am answering the question. Can you respond?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that means because you don't know what fruits are.
Yeah, I don't know what fruits are.
That's
Care to tell
exactly
me?
my point.
Yep.
Yeah, that how you act. God Logic acts way more consistently as a better person than you.
Nice.
And that's why Christianity is a better religion.
Wow. So because God Logic is a better person, then Christianity is a better religion?
I don't know that he's a better person, but his fruits are better. He acts with more patience and decency. He doesn't yell or insult.
So let's say that's the case. If God Logic is more patient, that means Christianity is true?
That's an example of the fruits.
All right. God Logic is patient, therefore Christianity is true?
You know what an example is?
I'm asking you, why is Christianity true? Why is it better? You're telling me because God Logic is patient.
Like, generally, the fruits of the religion result in better fruits and its adherents.
All right. The fruits of a religion, what would that encompass? Like, what, being a nice guy?
Being nice is definitely part of the fruits.
All right. Well, Mormons produce very good fruits. Is Joseph Smith a true prophet?
In some ways they do.
Is Joseph Smith a true prophet?
No, of course he's not a true prophet.
But they produce amazing fruits, man.
In general, they produce some good fruits.
No, not some. There's not some good fruits. They're very good people. They're very nice. Statistically, that's the case. They have good family life. They're good contributors to society. They have low crime rates. They have high charity rates. They produce good fruits. Why is Mormonism not true?
Yeah, they produce good fruits. They produce the best fruits among all of the religions.
So how do we know who produces the best fruits?
I would say that Muslims are also very nice, kind people in general.
So how do we know? How is that measured? Who produces the best fruits?
Well, I think we can just look at clear examples like the apologists on TikTok and the people like that are usually on the Christian side seem to be having better fruits.
All right, when I think the people on the Muslim side seem to be having better fruits and vegetables. So now where do we go? So where do we go from here?
I'll just ask you an honest question. Do you think that you versus God Logic, do you think that you act more decently if you consider the characteristics of like respect?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because you've raged at me and other people that I've seen several times.
Yeah, because you deserve to be raged at.
Exactly. This is my point. This is exactly my point. Your true character shows.
That is me raging at you. Me raging at you is a good fruit.
The biggest proof for Islam not being better is you. That's my point.
Oh, okay.
You are the biggest opponent of Christianity.
So because I raged at you, therefore Islam false.
Did I say that? I'm just using that as an example.
You just said it's the biggest proof.
You just take little examples and then you try to make a straw man argument out of them.
All right, you said I raged at you, therefore I hurt your feelings, therefore Islam false.
I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying that looking at you, your fruits, you are a good example for why Christianity in general is a better religion.
So because I hurt your feelings, Christianity is a better religion?
Yeah. Did I say that? I said that's an example.
All right, are you here to give an actual argument? What's the most convincing evidence for Christianity, dude? Let's stop beating around the bush. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the fruit. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying that the effect on society, the fruits, look at what happens to society when too many...
I'd say Muslims have a greater effect on society, historically speaking.
Look at the UK. Look at the UK 60 years ago versus today and tell me which time was better for it.
Why would that have anything to do with Islam, though?
Oh, well, look at most of the immigrants, man. That's why.
yeah, correlation doesn't mean causation. Are you able to prove that statistically?
Well, why is there a correlation among all these?
All right. So if you bring in people from low quality lives, people from a low class, and you bring them into your country from any religion, what happens?
Well, I don't know. Let's look at Poland, the low class.
Can you answer the question? When you bring people from
Yeah.
low classes in society and you bring them into your country, what generally happens from any religion?
Yeah, generally speaking, the crime rates go up, things like that. Generally speaking,
good. For example, 1 second, is Liberia a Christian country?
I don't know.
It is. You know what story behind Liberia is?
I think it's the African.
They're freed slaves that the U.S. sent back and helped them establish their own state.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Good. So they're a Christian majority nation. They were educated in the United States and sent back. They're freed slaves, and they eat human flesh. Is that because of Christianity?
Absolutely not.
But they're a Christian nation.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand that.
Are they a Christian nation or not?
I have no idea. Like I said,
absolutely, they're a Christian nation. They're a Christian. What about the Congo? Is that a Christian nation?
According to you, man, I have no idea. And you can say it's a Christian nation.
Sir, is the Congo a Christian nation?
How would I know, man? Why are you asking?
You don't know about the Congo?
No.
Oh, you don't know anything outside of America, right? And you want to act educated and sophisticated. You don't know anything about the world.
I know what's happening to Europe, and I can point to examples in all of Europe, and then you just look at the Christian.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened to Europe. What happened to Europe is they used to be living in mud huts and in shit, and they had to send their people to be educated in our universities in the golden Islamic age. Is that correct?
Hilarious.
When they were bathing in shit and kissing each other's wives. And not showering. Hey, listen. When they weren't showering for months, were they sending their people to be educated in Spain, in Muslim Spain, and in Baghdad, and in North Africa?
Why are immigrating to those countries if they're so backwards?
Why are the people now immigrating?
Yeah, if they're
because we live. I'm not saying you bathe in shit now. I didn't say that. I said Europe used to when the Muslims were in their golden age.
Isn't it within
you still kiss each other's wives though? That never changed. But yeah, now we live in a post-colonial era. You colonize a bunch of countries, messed up their borders, you completely messed up their systems, and now they're immigrating to your lands. That's expected.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, okay. But I just want to remind you that the best nations in the world, the safest nations in the world, the richest nations in the world are Muslim nations. I just want to remind you.
Does that completely rely on oil?
Rely on oil, rely on Jupiter. It doesn't matter. They're the richest countries in the world, most educated countries in the world. They are the safest countries in the world. And you have a bunch of stupid American expats that go there for better lives because you can't go on a train in America without getting stabbed in the head, without getting stomped on. So I don't. Yeah, by whom? Nobody. Hey, sir, nobody feels safe in America. Let me tell you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not saying
America's a scary place. You can get shot. You could be sitting debating and get chopped in the neck. Bait.
I don't disagree.
Exactly. That doesn't. Listen, Yemen.
This kind of thing that's being increased by the immigration.
Just listen. If you go to a nation like Yemen, where weapons, like who has a weapon, who's licensed, who isn't controlled, and anybody can get access to weapons, you would never feel that in danger. You would never just get randomly shot in the middle of nowhere. No schools get shot up. Have you ever heard of a school getting shot up in Yemen?
Yeah.
Nope. You don't. But you hear about transgenders shooting up schools in Yemen. I mean, bro, you live in a shithole. I just want to let you know that.
You hear about knife attacks from Muslims in the UK.
And you also hear about knife attacks from Nigerian immigrant Christians in the UK.
I think that's way more rare.
Christian? Nope, it's not. Actually, it's not. Actually, it's not. There's just as many Nigerian immigrant Christians in the UK who are roadmen who are slicing people up. There's just as many Christian Albanians on the streets of London with knives.
That's not true.
That is true. That's actually very true. So it's actually not about the religion, sir. It's about the way that people live, the way that they're conditioned, and the quality of people that are coming into the country. If you have listen, imagine you had high quality educated people from the Middle East, from the UAE, from Kuwait, come into the country. Would you have high crime rates or low crime rates?
I don't. The thing is this: I don't want to be living around people like you, which is within your faith. And
nope, you just thought that I'm politically illiterate, but I could school you on literally anything. We could talk about anything, and I'll school you. This has nothing to do with religion. Immigrants who live in low-income families and low-income housing, low-income areas are gonna be this way. They're gonna have more crimes, whether Muslim, Christian, Hindu. It's not about that. It's about the conditions. Okay, let's people from one second. People from high quality areas, from high quality backgrounds, with education, no matter what religion they are going to be good citizens. That's just how it works.
Let's compare a country like Poland that has no tea tax with pretty much any Islamic country around the world, and let's see which one is safer.
Yeah, first of all, Poland has a strict immigration policy. Why are you comparing a country that has a strict immigration policy to a country that lets in literally anyone?
That's my exact point.
Right. So that supports what I'm saying. I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with religion.
Yeah. What do you mean? They're not letting in Muslims.
How many tea attacks are there in Saudi?
I have no idea.
None, actually. None. There's none. Are they all Muslims? They're all Muslims. So why don't we have? If it's because of Islam, why aren't there tea attacks in Saudi? Why aren't there tea attacks in the UAE? Why aren't there tea attacks in Kuwait and in Bahrain, in Jordan? Why are there no tea attacks over there? They're all Muslim, man. Because it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the quality of people that you are bringing in to your nation. It's not about what religion these people are. It's about the quality of these people.
The top 10 tea groups in the world are all Muslim extremists, right?
The top 10 well, it depends on how you define a tea group, to be honest, because everybody nowadays is a tea. In the eyes of the Western media, everybody who disagrees with their agendas is a tea group. Are you talking about ISIS, for example?
That's one of them, but yeah, I think it's
how are ISIS any different from Israel?
I think
that's your biggest ally. Can you please tell me one difference between IS and Israel? Your biggest ally?
Yeah, absolutely.
The only difference.
Okay, they go around the world planning attacks on civilians.
Sounds like Israel. They go around the world. They attack Tunisia. They attack Qatar. They attack all nations that are surrounding them. So yes, so they're similar in that regard. I agree. I'm not here to defend Israel. I'm not here to defend Israel. But about Israel, according to you, Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. It's your biggest ally. You pay millions of dollars in tax dollars to aid their shmenocide in Palestine. Okay. So can you please tell me the difference between ISIS and Israel? What's the difference?
So first of all, I'm not here to defend transgender shooters. I'm not here to defend Israel. What I'm talking about,
but those are the people who you share values with them. How are you having double standards right now?
I don't share values with Israel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so why are you mentioning tea groups? I don't share values with tea groups.
Because that's from your religion.
Okay, all right. If that's how it works, then Israel is also from your values. Remember, America is based on Judeo-Christian values.
What are you, dude? I'm Christian. I'm not Jewish.
It doesn't matter. You guys follow the same book. You have Judeo-Christian values. Is Israel a Jewish state?
Yes.
Good. And Israel's values are largely based on biblical texts, right?
On the Old Testament, not the New Testament.
Is the Old Testament an evil book?
No, of course not.
All right, so then you shouldn't have a problem, Old, New, Middle Testament.
Yeah, we do. We have a problem with people rejecting the
Messiah. You have a problem with people following the Old Testament?
People rejecting the Messiah? Yes.
Whether they reject the Messiah, did the Messiah have anything? Did he say anything wrong about the Old Testament?
No, he didn't say anything wrong.
All right, so whether they accept the Messiah, reject the Messiah, there's no bearing on the conversation.
It's a completely different.
So it doesn't matter. Those people share your values. Do they not share your values?
There are some values that are shared, just like we share values with Islam.
All right, perfect then. So then, every Christian group, or the KKK, for example, do you share values with them?
Like everyone has some values in common, let's say.
But they're Christian. They're Christian, though.
Okay, all right.
Are they Christian?
Is the KKK Christian?
Yes.
I think there are some. It's probably more leaning Protestant. Yeah, you can say
all right. That. What about slave owners in the 5th, 16th century, 17th century?
Mostly Jewish. Yeah.
The slave owners are mostly Jewish?
No. Yes.
Who are you lying? Who are you lying? There's barely any Jews in the U.S. So wait, one second.
It was actually mostly Muslim on a global basis.
That's funny because 40% of slaves brought from Africa are Muslim. So that's hilarious. Or were Muslim before they were Christianized. So let me ask you this. How many African Americans in the U.S. right now?
I don't know. I think it's like 20% or 15% or something like that.
So you're telling me the Jews, who are not even a half a percentage, brought in 20% and own 20% of the United States population?
No. What I'm saying is this: if you look at the global slave trade back in the day, the Muslims were the biggest slave trade.
I'm talking about the Atlantic. I'm talking about the transatlantic slave trade.
I know.
All right. Did you say they were all? You said they're all Jews. Are they all Jews?
I didn't say they're all Jews. I said I believe the majority of them during that time.
Well, that's statistically impossible because 20% of the population is African Americans. Jews make up not even a fraction of that.
It doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter?
It does matter because they were all a bunch of Christians who believed in the Lord Jesus Christ and had black slaves. Can you show me a single Islamic text that allows for the kind of slavery that went on in the U.S. not even 400 years ago?
I don't know specifically about that, but doesn't Muhammad talk about slaves?
I told you the kind of slavery that happened. We don't believe that slavery in itself is intrinsically evil, because when you say slave, and you don't either, you believe in the Bible, dude. Let's not act like you have the moral high ground here. You believe in killing kids.
We absolutely
you absolutely do not.
Nowhere.
All right. Nowhere. Does Yahweh say you could beat your slave? Does Yahweh say you could beat your slave?
I'd have to look at the verse. And
all right. Well, how about we look at it?
This is not the point of the conversation.
It is. Let's look at. Yeah, you said that. I'm not going to. You said that you have the moral high ground. So let's see if that's the case.
Because we don't say that slavery is a good thing. That's the difference.
Does God say that you could have slaves?
I think there are probably some references in the Old Testament to that specific time period, but in the New Testament, there's nothing saying that.
There is actually. Not that it matters, but there is. Paul says, slaves, be obedient to your slave masters as you are to Christ.
Okay, and where does that say that it's a good thing to have slaves?
If God instituted it, then it must be a good thing by necessity. God cannot institute that which is evil.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Where does he institute a requirement for slavery?
A requirement? Who said it's a requirement?
Where does he institute
Who said it's a requirement? He said if you want to have slaves, you could have slaves. Who said it's a requirement?
Yeah, and where does he institute it as an institution that should be followed forever?
As followed forever? Yeah, he says. Yeah, the Torah says that it's forever, and Jesus doesn't do away with it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so then it's forever. So you could have human property, you could own it and inherit it to your kids and to your generations forever. And you could beat your slave, and you could treat him harshly. Yes,
I'd love to see that slavery is an institution that should last forever. I would love to see that.
Is the Torah a forever institution?
The Torah is yeah. I mean, it's eternal. But
is that part of the Torah, or not part of the Torah?
Yeah, but it's not specifically saying that this is an institution that should last forever.
It doesn't need to say you should have slaves forever. It's enough that it says that the Torah is forever, and this is part of the Torah.
I don't even know what you're trying to say here, because are you trying to say Islam is better?
I'm trying to say that Islam, not only do we have better fruits than you, remember you brought that up? We are better than you, and have been better than you in every aspect, in every science, in history, in philosophy, in literature, in technological advancement, literally in being clean, because you guys don't wash yourself. Everything you could think of, from A to Z, we are just better than you. There's nothing that you exceeded.
You are literally. No offense, dude, but how can you, someone who has an obesity issue, be talking about being better than
somebody that has no what?
I said, no offense, but how can you, that someone has obesity issues, be talking about being like cleaner than
obesity? What does that have to do with? What are you talking about, bro? Yo, you're manifesting. You're panicking right now, bro. Yo, this guy said, obesity. Are you trolling yourself right now? You're trolling yourself right now, bro. You're actually mad. How does it feel to lose? How does it feel to lose,
man? I'm trying to be respectful, but how can you be saying that you're cleaner than Christians when, like, you yourself have an issue that?
Wait, what? Let's say I was the most obese man in the world. Does that mean that you're cleaner than me because you're skinnier?
Yeah, dude, it's hard to clean between those folds, man. Like, that's real.
Yeah, you're trolling. You know you lost, bro. How does it feel to lose?
I wasn't.
How does it feel to lose, man? Huh?
I think this is whatever, man. All right, have a good day, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's how it feels to lose.
All due respect, bro. I'm not trying to insult your.
That's a rage quit. That's a rage quit right there, man. That's a rage quit, man. You know, I was gonna show him a verse in 2 Samuel that says, "To the pure you show yourself pure, but to the crooked you show yourself shrewd." This is our philosophy. Remember that.